On the cold night of November 12, 2014, Mark Halperin left his modest home in Dutch Hollow, a quiet town nestled in upstate New York. A 42-year-old cab driver with over 2 decades behind the wheel, Mark was a fixture in the community. Locals trusted him with their children, their errands, their late-night rides home from the diner. He knew everyone, and everyone knew him. That night, Mark drove off in his yellow Ford Crown Vic for what should have been a routine evening shift. But by the next morning, he hadn't returned. His cab wasn't at the depot, his radio was silent, and he hadn't answered a single call. His wife, Denise, reported him missing just after sunrise. At first, police suspected a random act of violence. Maybe a robbery gone wrong or a dangerous passenger. It wasn't unheard of, even in small towns. But nothing added up. There were no calls logged, no emergency button pressed in the cab. And most troubling of all, his GPS had been disabled manually. 3 days later, a hunter found Mark's taxi abandoned on the edge of Lake Monroe. The doors were unlocked, the keys were gone, and the vehicle was wiped clean. No fingerprints, no struggle, no blood. But inside the glove compartment was something no one expected, a prepaid burner phone hidden beneath old receipts. The number wasn't listed anywhere in Mark's records. When detectives traced it, they found dozens of outgoing calls, many to known drug dealers and middlemen in nearby Albany. As investigators dug deeper, a second Mark Halperin began to emerge. One who might have been involved in something far more dangerous than late-night cab fares. People who thought they knew Mark were stunned. But the mystery didn't stop there. Among the last phone calls placed on the burner phone was one to Jared Rusk, a former felon with a reputation for running shady dealings out of his bar on the town's outskirts. When questioned, Jared claimed he hadn't spoken to Mark in months. But surveillance footage from a gas station just outside of town proved otherwise. It showed Jared stepping into Mark's cab at 9:43 p.m. on the night he disappeared. Rusk was brought in again. Under pressure, he admitted to riding with Mark that night, but insisted they only argued over a personal debt before he got out near the lake. He swore he didn't harm him. 8 weeks later, a fisherman's hook caught something heavy just below the surface at the lake's edge. Inside a black duffel bag were Mark's wallet, his badge, and his jacket, stained with what DNA tests confirmed to be his blood. But his body was never found. Rusk was arrested, but the case quickly fell apart. There was no body, no weapon, and no eyewitness. The DA dropped all charges citing lack of evidence. Jared walked free. In the years since, Mark Halperin's case remains unsolved. Rumors continue to swirl, that he was an informant, that he owed money to dangerous people, that someone close to him wanted him gone. But none of it has been proven. Dutch Hollow still remembers the man who once drove their streets with a smile, and the secrets he took with him into the night.